Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today, for the first time in about 6 months, 5-6 months, I'm going to be making a tennis prediction video. Yes, it has been a very long time since I've made one of these videos, considering how I did have that big little break from YouTube. I wasn't uploading for a while. I didn't upload tennis predictions because I watched a whole good lot of tennis, but I never really did predictions. So, if you are, let's say, an OG to the channel, you would have known that when I first made the channel, and on the 1st of November 2021, I made my first tennis prediction video, and it was at the 2021 Paris Masters tournament. So, here we are. I did a 2022 predictions last year. And it's 2023 now, so we're going to go do 2023 Rolex Paris Masters Round 1 prediction. So hope you all enjoy the video, and yeah, let's do this. So here we go, first prediction in 5 months, almost 6 months probably around that now, but Miomir Kecmanovic versus Thomas Martin Etcheverry. So I know that Miomir, he has been doing very well recently. He's quite a good player. He's been doing quite well, so I think he's going to go quite far in this tournament. So I'm going to put him, move it into round 2 and winning this match. Okay, up next we have Tallon Griekspoor versus Christopher Eubanks. This will be a pretty good match as both players are very good at the moment. So I'm gonna go with Tallon though. He did beat Alex de Minaur this week in Basel. I know the tournament's not done yet, but he did beat de Minaur in straight sets as well, so he did well. I don't know who he lost to, but he's been playing very well recently, so I'm going with Tallon, moving on to round 2. Okay, now we have Alejandro Davidovich Fokina versus Ben Shelton, the number 15 seed. Now, if you have been following the ATP tour in the last couple months, you would have heard about a guy named Ben Shelton. He has been absolutely incredible in the last few weeks and months, you know. He's been so good and consistent. US Open, made it to the semi-finals, lost to Djokovic. Then he won Tokyo. He won his first ATP 500, or his first title was an ATP 500. So he has been very good recently. So I think he's going to go quite far into this tournament, definitely. So he's moving on to round 2, 100% surely. Taylor Fritz versus Sebastian Baez is next, and I'm going to go with Fritz on this one, because he has been quite, I don't know, he hasn't been the best recently with playing. He's been losing some pretty big matches while he's number 9 in the race to Turin, so he needs to do well this tournament, so I think he's going to get into that mindset. And beat Baez, definitely. So I don't know how far he'll get, but he'll definitely move on to round 2, I'm saying that now. Up next, we have Daniel Altmaier versus Arthur Fils, and I'm going to go with Fils on this one. So, there's a lot of these players that you probably wouldn't know much about when I did my last predictions and stuff at the start of the year and last year. But there's a lot of good players now that you wouldn't have really heard me saying about a year ago. So, it's great to see a lot of the next-gen players coming up and rising up the ranks, but I'm going to say Arthur Fils is moving on to round 2. Stan Wawrinka versus Matteo Arnaldi is the next match. I'm going to go with, I think, Stan Wawrinka on this one. He's been very good recently. This year he's really grown a lot. He's come back after the injuries and everything he's had. So I think he's going to do quite well here in Paris and move on to round 2 by beating Arnaldi. Now, this is going to be a good match here. Andy Murray versus Alex de Minaur. So, de Minaur, the 13th seed, he's been playing really well recently, but also he's been losing quite a bit over the last couple of weeks, unfortunately. I don't know how he's going to fare against Murray, but this is a tough one. I think it's going to be a really good match. I think it'll go down to 3 sets, but I want to give this one to Alex de Minaur. I think he's got it, and we'll move on to round 2. Up next, we have Tommy Paul, the number 12 seed, versus wildcard entry Richard Gasquet. So, Tommy Paul, he's been playing very good recently. He's been very solid over the this season, to be honest. He's been doing quite well. So is Gasquet too, but this one I'm going to have to go with Tommy Paul. He's a good player and he's been doing quite well. So I'm going to say Tommy Paul is moving on to round 2. Moving on to Gael Monfils protected ranking versus Francisco Cerundolo. Now, this is going to be a good one, but I'm going with Monfils here because Monfils, he has been in such a good form recently. He managed to win the Stockholm title after being away for quite a while this season. He's been doing quite well to get back into shape. He managed to grab the title, which was really good. So I'm going to say Monfils, he's going to round 2. Gigi Lehechka versus Roberto Bautista Agut. Now, this is going to be a pretty good match, but I'm going to go with Giri on here. He's been doing quite well. I haven't heard a lot from him, but he has been doing quite well, to be honest, as a very consistent player. He's currently ranked 31 in the world, so he's been doing quite well. So I'm going to say he's going to move on to round 2 here in Paris and take down Roberto. This is going to be a good match. Sebastian Korda versus Hubert Hurkacz, the number 11 seed. Now, Hurkacz, he's been playing really well over the last few weeks. He won the Shanghai Masters a couple of weeks ago, and he's currently in the finals in, I think it's Basel. He's going to be versing Aliassime in the final. But, as well, Korda, he did really well in Shanghai as well. And he's been in really strong form, but I think it's going to be a good match, but Hurkacz is going to take this one out and move on to round 2. Frances Tiafoe, number 14 seed, is up next versus Alexander Bublik. Now, this is going to be a good match. Both are really strong players right now. I'm going to go with Tiafoe here, as Tiafoe, he's been really good. He's had some really good matches in the last couple of weeks, so I'm saying he'll be moving on to round 2 in Paris. Up next, we have Nicolas Jarry. He'll be versing Alexei Popyrin. Now, this will be a pretty good match, as they're both quite strong players, especially Jarry. I know Jarry's been quite consistent recently. Jarry's number 20 in the world, while Popyrin is 39, so they're both similarly ranked somewhat, and they're both very strong players. But, I know Alexei's Aussie, and I do love the Aussie players, but I'm going to have to go with Jarry on this one. I think Nicolas will get the better of Popyrin, and we're moving on to round 2 here in Paris. We have a pretty good matchup up next. We have Grigor Dimitrov versus Lorenzo Musetti. Now, both players are very good, but Dimitrov, he's been playing quite well recently. Had a good run in Shanghai. He took down Carlos Alcaraz, I'm pretty sure, in the 3rd round, so he has been really strong right now. So Dimitrov, he's going on to round 2. Felix Auger-Aliassime versus Jan-Lennard Struff next. Now, normally I would say Felix would probably lose this, considering how the horrible season he's had. Thank God I haven't been doing predictions, because I would have gotten them all wrong, because I would have said he's going to win, but then he's lost in, like, round 1 of every tournament this year, pretty much. Like, round 2. He hasn't done well at all, except this week in Basel, he has been playing absolutely incredible. He's taken down some big players and had some really big match wins. So, Felix Auger-Aliassime, he's going to have a good week here in Paris, and he's moving on to round 2. Number 16 seed, Karen Khachanov, will be versing Max Purcell next. Now, Purcell, he's been playing very well recently, but he's more of a doubles player. I'm going to say he's really good in singles, but he does a lot better in doubles when he's with, like, Rinky Hijikata, Alex de Minaur, Ed Ben, and all that. So, yeah, Max Purcell, I don't know how he'll fare in this matchup, but I think Karen Khachanov has got this one. He'll be moving on to round 2. Final matchup, we have Laszlo Djere versus Luca Van Asch, the wild card. Now, I'm going to go with Djere, as he's a pretty good player. He's been very consistent recently, and has had some good results, especially at the US Open. He nearly beat Djokovic in straight sets, except Djokovic managed to come back and win in 5. So, yeah, not the best, but he's been doing quite well, so I'm going with Djere for moving on to round 2 here in Paris. Alright everybody, that's going to do it for my 2023 Rolex Paris Masters round 1 predictions. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm very happy to get back into doing the predictions, especially for Paris, as it's basically a tradition on my channel now. I've done it 2 years in a row, this is the 3rd year now, so yeah, hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Alrighty, see ya.